Hey everybody, John Jerkowitz here. Good evening. Thanks for dropping by. Got a real special show for you tonight. Got a real special guest. First time ever in a Hangout, period. This is my new friend, Lena Georgiev. And Lena and I met on LinkedIn through a coaching community, and we were exchanging messages back and forth and finally talked on the phone, and I said, hey, you ever done this Google Plus thing? And she said, yeah, well, kind of, and I looked at her profile and everything and said, do you like to learn how to do a profile banner? And she said, sure. Well, we decided we were going to talk at 7 o'clock tonight, and, you know, I started thinking over the weekend, why don't we turn this into a Hangout so that a lot of people out there can take advantage of it. So, Lena, I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about yourself, and we'll take it from there.
Well, thank you, John. I'm very excited to be here. This is my first time, so I'm not the most technical person in the world. So we'll see how that goes. As long as I don't need to do anything, blow up the computer, everything should be fine. Yeah, no, seriously, I'm not very technical. But anyway, so my name is Lena, and I'm very new at the coaching thing. I'm actually getting the accreditation right now. I'm enrolled in a six-month program. And the way I got into this was initially, well, I'm a CPA, MBA by nature, accounting, finance, corporate accounting. And I really got burnt out by just you know, the whole corporate environment. And I thought, well, the one thing that I always had in common in all these jobs that I had was I really enjoyed helping people. You know, people, either my immediate coworkers or even supervisors would come to me and ask me for all kinds of advice, from weight loss to relationships to, you know, you name it, I've probably given them some kind of advice on. So I thought, well, you know what, maybe there's a change time for me and I should probably try something different. And that's how I got into life coaching. I think I was talking to a friend of mine who was getting a divorce, and we kind of sat there, talked a little bit about what he's going through, and he basically told me, Lena, you know what, have you considered life coaching? This is something that maybe you should be doing instead of accounting, because you really enjoy helping people with issues and life changes. So that's how I got into this. I'm very new, like I said, but hopefully I can really contribute and eventually get really good at it and, you know, make a business out of it. So that's kind of my little story. Oh, and I was 45 pounds heavier about 3 years ago. So one of my niches that I'm thinking I should be probably doing is helping people lose weight.
Well, I was going to save this for the very end, but I can tell you all right now, I posted one of Lena's YouTube videos in the event page yesterday afternoon. And if you want to become totally inspired, go watch her video, okay? I mean, it is absolutely amazing. I got inspired. And usually the only person that inspires me is me. So it was really, really great. And actually, probably in 2 weeks, I'm going to have Lena on my scheduled hangout on air to talk a little bit about her journey. But tonight, we're here to talk about your profile page. And, you know, one of the things I see with new people to Google Plus is they hop in with both feet, and boy, they're ready to go. And there's some really, really good videos out there. There's some really good communities out there, and they just charge in full bore, and they forget about what I think is the most important part, and that's their profile page. So this is real basic tonight. I'm not going to get into the Ronnie Bintzer, Martin Shervington area. First of all, Lena and I do share one thing in common. I'm not a techie. I'm wonderful, but I'm not a techie. So first thing I want to do, I'm going to put a screen share up here for you. If you bear with me, it might take a second. If you can see that, I've actually took a screenshot of Lena's profile page. And if you look on the left, when you want to put a put a picture in that area. We're going to go do that here in a few minutes. That profile picture is 250 by 250 pixels. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip. Putting your picture in, that profile page is pretty forgiving. It will kind of allow you to put one in a little larger and allow you to crop it out. And I'm going to show you that here in a few seconds. But if you look down all the way here where I have no profile picture, that's called the blue head. And usually, if somebody doesn't have a profile picture and they go to join certain private communities, they won't be allowed in unless they have a profile picture. And like I said when we started, sometimes you get into this and you start to work on it and you get a little frustrated and then you get a little more frustrated and eventually you say, oh, the heck with it. I can tell you one community that I belong to, one of my favorite communities, User to User, that Andrew Hatchett is the owner of and chief moderator. And one of the guidelines to get into that community is that you have to have a profile picture. And that is for people who, you know, use Google Plus, use Google Hangouts on Air, business hangouts, communities, everything else. And they can't get into that community without a profile picture. And that's because we live in a generation of hackers and spammers and, as a friend of mine said the other day, trolls. Now, if you look over on the right, and it's kind of pretty, the blue, green, yellow, blue, and red that Lena has there, and that's her profile page banner. And that is 1080 pixels by 608 pixels. And in a few seconds here, we're going to get into how you make one of those. I'm going to actually show you the easy way to do this. So, Lena, before I stop this screen share, do you have any questions?
No, so far so good. I mean, I figured out how to put a picture.
Okay.
I did that, but that's pretty much as far as I got. So.
Okay, well, I'm going to stop the screen share for just a minute here. Okay. And this is always the part that I have an issue with. There we go. Getting back to seeing my wonderful face. Yeah, and that's good. A lot of people have an issue even with getting a picture in. One of the things I tell people, you know, this process here is no cost. There's no charge to it. And there's a lot of wonderful people here who help everybody out. But here's the thing. Google didn't take you to raise. So they don't give you always a lot of guidance. You almost have to look for it. Okay? So I am going to start another screen share, and this one may take me a second because it's on my other monitor. Okay, there we go. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can
okay.
see your banner, right?
Okay, I'm going to get over to my other monitor here. And if you look here, you see where it says change cover?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you click on that. And there's some presets, and there's some pretty nice presets. And I know people that use the presets for their banner. All right. Now, I choose to use my business, and so I had to make this. And we're not going to get into how I made it tonight, but what we are going to talk about is that you can upload these from your computer from a picture. Okay. Now remember, I told you that they have to be a certain size, correct?
Right.
If they're not a certain size, okay, Google is going to disallow them. So what we want to do is we want to go over here, and I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to do this. There is a piece of software called Pixlr, Pixlr.com. Okay, and you should kind of see some little palm trees and the whole 9 yards. And actually, I'm going to go over here and tell you, I believe this is an auto-loading tool. And this is really good to have, and I'll send you the link on this. We're going to go down here, and we're going to say, okay, new Google Plus is 1080 by 608. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to come over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch the web application. By the way, Pixlr is free.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to open an image from my computer. Oh, look, it's handsome me. Okay, but we're not going to use that one. I was fooling with that earlier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to my computer, come down just a little further, and I'm going to open up some pictures. Okay, and here's the picture I'm going to open up. That's me and my grandson. He was a year old this summer. Now, if you look down here, you see it says 575 by 407?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to want to change the size on that. And this is a real quick, easy way to do it. First thing I'm going to do is come over here and see this little lock?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to unlock that. And now there's a check mark. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back over here, and I'm just going to look at, again, to be sure, I want to go 1080 by 608. My picture's unlocked. I come up here to Image, and I click Image Size. Now, there's a little box here called Constrain Proportions. I'm going to uncheck that. And remember, we said 1080 by 608.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go 1100 by 625. I'm going to show you why in a few minutes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to click OK, and wow, isn't that big? Now, how am I ever going to fool with that if I want to? Well, I'm going to come up here and click on this arrow, and I'm going to take my mouse wheel, okay? Now I'm going to make that smaller so I can work with it if I had to. So I'm going to come over here to my file, and I'm going to save this. And I'm going to save it as me and Reed 2, and it's a JPEG. And I'm going to save this into my pictures folder. Okay. Any questions on that, Lena, before I go any further?
Okay. One question. Was your picture you had to unlock it because it was locked in your own folder, or all pictures will be locked here?
Okay, that's a really good question. Anytime you import something in Pixlr, you are going to see that little lock there, okay? And that means unless you unlock it, you can't do anything with the picture, okay? All right? Now, you may bring another picture in, and when we talk about creating, remember when we were in the green room before we started and we were talking about creating lower thirds? When I teach you how to do that one day, it's a little bit trickier, and I'll show you why that's really important. Okay, so now we've got that to size, okay? We're going to come back over here, and I'm going to select a photo from my computer. As you can see, I have a lot of photos in my computer. And I got me and Reed 2, okay? Now that's going to upload. Now you see the crop box around there?
Mm-hmm.
One of the neat things this can do is, suppose I just wanted it to be this much. Okay. I could take it and I can bring it down this way and bring it down this way. That's the full 1080, okay? Now, remember I said I made it a little bigger? I'm going to show you why here in a second. So once I'm satisfied that I have this cropped where I want, I'm going to select the cover photo. Okay? You with me?
Yep. So far, so good.
Okay. See how that changed?
Oh, wow.
It changed my profile. photo, okay? So what I did, let's review real quick once again. Start all over. I don't want to save that. I already have. I'm going to open an image from my computer. Okay. And I'm going to kind of make this so it's workable. I'm going to go to image, image size, unconstrain my proportions. Okay, but wait a minute. And just to show you, remember I told you when I introduced me and you both that I'm not the most technical person in the world?
Wow.
As often as I do this, I didn't unlock the picture.
Oh.
Okay? Which means if I would have gone to change the size on that image, it might not have worked. All right? Yeah, I know. Oh is right. Remember I told you about live TV? Okay. So now I take the image size. I'm going to unconstrain the proportions. I'm going to put my image size in there, and we're going to make it 1100 by 625, I believe, to give us a little wiggle room.
You put 100.
Whoa! And you see
100.
what happens when you don't do it the right way? So now, you don't panic, all right? All right? Because what we did is I got my width wrong. I did it 100 instead of 1100, and when I did that, it came out okay, and I can take that picture down like that. Then I'm simply going to go save the picture, and I'm not going to save this one because I love my grandson, but I got 5 pictures of me and him. I'm going to come over here to my profile. I'm going to change my cover, and I'm going to change it back to the one I had. And I'm going to go over here. Oh, well, here. Let's do this. See where it says cover photos? See this right here? All right, I've had a number of different covers in the last year or so. I got to this thing where I was changing them every now and then. I'm going to go back to the one I had. Going to crop it in, and I'm going to select that, and boom, there we go. Okay, now just as long as you have the right dimensions, you can put any picture you want in there. All right, now, but I'm going to give you a little piece of advice, and I learned this the hard way. Some pictures, if you use a picture, and you live in the Chicago area, right, Lena?
Yes, unfortunately right now it's not a lot of fun, but yeah.
No, it's not, but I bet you there's some cool picture taken out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know I have family in Chicago, so it's wonderful during the spring and summer, and my wife and I spent our 35th wedding anniversary in Chicago. And you can go take your camera and take some pictures or your smartphone, and you bring them in and you change the pixel size on them, and they'll work real well. But suppose you find one of them cute banners on the internet, and you start to play with it. Sometimes it will distort the pixelation on it, so you have to be careful. Sometimes you're not able to use everything you might want to use. Okay?
Okay. I kind of like yours. Maybe I can use yours. No, just kidding.
Well, sure you can. People are going to go, my God, John, you grew hair. So, do you have any questions on this?
Well, the only other question I have is that software that you just went to. Do I have to download that beforehand?
No.
Okay.
It is web-based. Another excellent question. Okay. I'm going to stop the screen share here. There we go, and we're back. Yeah, it's pixlr.com.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, a 12-year-old taught me that software. Okay, so it's, and you can't hurt anything. And I believe that's why God put the big red X at the top of every internet page, that if you really mess it up and you can't seem to get where things are going, All you got to do is exit out and begin all over again. Okay? So, $64,000 question. Did you learn something tonight?
I think I did. Yeah. I mean, I have to watch this a few more times
Okay.
and take notes and things like that, but I think it was
Right.
very, very educational. Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to talk about maybe some things you got going on, something people might be interested in, your web page, stuff like that.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I am a very new coach, and I'm working on helping people mainly currently lose weight. So I came up with my own plan about 3 years ago, and I hate dieting. I just hate measuring things, writing down a journal with all of your calorie intake and all that crap. So what I did was, instead, I read a book about eating right for your blood type. So depending on your blood type, the whole idea is that you should kind of eat everything but certain things in moderation. Let's put it that way. So I created my own plan based on my blood type that was related to like a Mediterranean diet. You know, my particular thing is from, I guess, from European descendants and so forth. And I took a lot of things from different books. It wasn't just a dieting thing. It was, how to actually live your life in general by following, eating small meals, how you work out, when do you stop eating, how much you drink, how much you don't drink, what do you drink, things like that. So I created my entire thing, my own plan. It was mainly not even for weight loss. It was mainly to have a lot of energy because I'm a single mom. I have one daughter, and just working a lot drained me. And every time I would come home, I would feel zero energy. So this plan that I made really helped me not only lose weight, but actually be always energetic and be able to, to be involved in her life and not just come home from work and want to watch TV and sit on the couch. So I'm very excited about it. I have about, right now, 5 people on my plan, and obviously it will take a little while to make sure that it's working, but so far they're on it on, I think, 2 months, and they've lost quite a bit of weight, I think over 10 and 15 pounds. And they're very happy. They text me once in a while and ask me, what they can substitute, and so I'm kind of like their little support system for their weight loss. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to help as many people as I can, just because I've been there, done that, and it's worked for me. And the one thing that I can say here is, it's easy. It's easier to lose weight. It's harder to keep it off, right? We've all been through diets where you lose 30 pounds, you lose 25 pounds, and then a year later you gain, double that. And it is because a lot of those diets that other people have and do are not sustainable. They're not a long-term thing. It's not like a life-changing experience. It's just a short-term solution. Well, my plan works, and it works long-term. If you have the opportunity to watch my videos, you're going to see the transformation. Actually, I have a lot of friends and family that they don't even know what I used to look like, and they're looking at these videos and they're like, oh, that's Lena way back then. All right. And they have to make the picture big and look at it and just be like, oh, yeah, that was Lena, I guess. So, hopefully I can help a lot of people with that. So
good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put Lena's contact information on the event page for those of you that are watching that may want to get in touch with her. And I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. Little bit of a shout out. I'm going to tell you guys that user-to-user community that I mentioned at the start of the Hangout, owned and moderated by one Mr. Andrew Hatchett. Super, super community if you want to learn all things about Google Plus and Hangouts on Air. Not only Andrew's in there, but there are 4 or 5 different moderators, and I would name them, except surely I would forget one of them, and I wouldn't want to do that, especially the ones that are bigger than me. And so it is a private community. You do have to have a profile picture and a number of other things in order to join that community. But if you're interested, give it a shout. Now, maybe you're not there yet. Okay? I'm going to be doing a series of these real basic elementary Google Plus Hangouts, 15, 20, 25 minutes long, Tonight we took care of a banner and we took care of a picture. In a week or so I'm going to be talking about how do you do your profile page. And if you'd like to join me, like Lena joined me, and Lena, you're more than welcome to come back. Okay?
Oh, I thought it was a one-way ticket. No, I can.
No, you get to come back. You get addicted to this stuff. As a matter of fact, I was telling Lena in the green room before we started that I would really like to have her on as a guest in a couple weeks to talk about her journey and her program. So, I hope you all got something out of this evening, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'm going to stop the broadcast now. So good night and good luck. Say good night, Lena.
Good night.